All right, guys. Now it's time to talk about the release players for both Lucknow and Punjab. So going down the list here, we'll start with Lucknow. One of the big ones, KL Rahul. What are you guys' thoughts on his release? High profile release for sure.
I think it's a good release considering how they haven't had a good relationship with KL Rahul after that SRH match. We've seen how the owners have become a little bit anger on him in public,
Yeah.
which might have ruined their relationship with each other. So considering that, I think it's a good release to move on for both the parties.
I mean, it's a big release that everyone talks about just because of the magnitude of it, but let's be honest, it's not, I don't know if it's a release for cricketing reasons. It's just they didn't get along with each other. And I think it's best for both teams that they part with each other. And people say KL Rahul plays slow and all that stuff, but he's a high quality player. I think if everything was smooth, he'd definitely be the top potential on the LSG team. So it's just an issue involving both parties, so it's better that they both move on.
hmm And it'll be good to see KL Rahul hopefully playing without the pressure of a captaincy, but that's to be seen. Next player, Devdutt Padikkal. What do you guys think?
I think it's a good release from LSG too, considering how they haven't utilized his abilities. We've seen how good of an opener he is at RCB, and RR hasn't used him properly. LSG did the same mistake; they haven't used him properly. Yes, he did get a few chances here and there, but he also himself haven't utilized it in his own terms. So I think it's a good release. Let's see if he can get a new home somewhere else or RCB back.
Yeah, I hope he's back at RCB. He's such a quality player, and I think they're just putting a fish out of water. They keep playing him at number three when he's a proper opening batter, and I feel he needs a long run at that opening slot. We saw how good he was at RCB, and somewhere like the Chinnaswamy Stadium, he'd be a beast, man, at his home ground. So relief she's back at RCB, but yeah, it doesn't really fit in the LSG scheme of things. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, they some team has to give him a chance next IPL season for sure. So the next player, Quinton de Kock, struggled a little bit in the past IPL, but he's been in good form recently. What are you guys' thoughts? Good or bad?
I think it's a good release, but considering how he has been playing now, I think they should have kept him. I think go for good money for teams that don't have an opener. But especially, I think he might go to CSK, considering his age and stuff.
Oh,
Bro, if they retained him, it's paisa barbad. It's
no,
waste of
yeah.
money. Waste of money. I think, in my opinion, he's aging. He's retired from most formats in international cricket. Just goes around playing franchise cricket now, and he's been inconsistent over the past few years. We've not seen that same old Quinton de Kock from Mumbai Indians or the one of old from South Africa. So I think it's a really good release. He might go back to Mumbai Indians or some other team in the auction, but again, in the on the slow pitches in Lucknow, it's not favorable for him. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, it would be great to see him back where he was best at Mumbai, I think. All
Yeah,
right,
he was
next
really
player. Absolutely. So next player, Ashton Turner, a little nepotism in here. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just because Justin Langer came, he brought a few Australian players into the lineup as well. And while some of them were good, some of them turned out like this. I mean, Ashton, that's just a comedy pick, man. I mean, Ashton Turner, I think he had that one good knock in, I think it was in Mohali against India in an ODI match. But other than that, he's not done much in international cricket. Didn't even see the field in the IPL until last year, I think. And just to show a record of the pick that he got a couple of chances to play as well. Didn't do much there. Yeah, I don't think he's going back to a team unless Justin Langer decides to pick him again, or Ricky Ponting decides to bring in that same strat and pick him for Punjab to be a mentor on the sidelines. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. How has covered all the points. I don't know. I think it's a good release.
Fair enough. I mean, what else can you say there? Uh, Deepak Huda, next one. What are you guys' thoughts?
I think they should have retained him instead of Ayush Badani. He's a player that has good caliber. We've seen, yes, when he was in
Deepak
SRH,
Huda's capped though.
oh, it's okay. They should retain him. But that's not my point. But I think it doesn't matter if he's capped or uncapped. I think they should have retained him because considering like how he has played for LSG the previous year, not last year, but the previous year, he was in good form with KL Rahul. He got selected to India. He did good for India. He was supposed to be our next Kohli, but things haven't turned out the way they have to be. And if we look at his recent form, I think it's a good release.
This guy right here, right? Do not listen to him when he makes comparisons with Virat Kohli because he touted Manish Pandey to be the Virat Kohli once. Now he's saying Deepak Hooda. But I've heard other people say Deepak Hooda should have replaced Virat Kohli in a previous T20 World Cup squad in 2022. And then Virat Kohli hit that magnificent knock against Pakistan to show why he's the GOAT. But besides the point, I think Deepak Hooda he's shown that he's a good batter at number three and he can bowl you some off spin. But thing is, if they retained him, it would have probably been 18 crores. And I don't know if he'll go, I doubt he'll go 18 crores in the auction. He'd go for a decent amount and he's a good player in my opinion. But I think it was a good release in terms of like the price he would have gone at.
I think he might go back to search. I don't know. See.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
first
mean,
Manish Pandey, now Deepak Hooda, covering all the next Kohlis.
I mean, wherever he goes, he's been solid in domestic cricket, so hopefully somebody just gives him a chance. Next person, Krishnappa Gautam. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, the Karnataka player. Uh, LSG didn't give him much of a chance on those turning pitches because they had people like Krunal Pandya and Bishnoi to bowl there. But he didn't really do great in the limited chances he got either. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a retention candidate. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, I think it's a good release from LSG. I think he's just that bowler that who is good for backup. If someone gets injured for 1 2 games, he can cover in for them. Other than that, I think good release.
Mhm. All right, next player, Krunal Pandya. Hot commodity Indian all-rounder. What are you guys' thoughts? Good or bad release?
I think this is the only place where they might have debated if they should have retained someone or not, but definitely he's not worth 18 crores. I feel they could have considered him over potentially I don't know if you'd go 14 actually, but maybe like retained him over a Mayank Yadav, but thinking about it, I don't think that would have been feasible, especially with the X factor Mayank Yadav brings. But he's a good player. I mean, we've seen him bowl very economical overs at LSG and play so good for Mumbai Indians, and he can play good with the bat, give you long innings, and also bail you out of situations later on. So he's a good player, and he'd go for a decent amount of the auction. But yeah, it's not worth the 18 crore retention. So yeah, that way, a good release.
Yeah, I agree with all the points Rahul said. He's now at the 18 crores, so it's a good release. One comment about Krunal Pandya. He does have the special bowling called throw bowling. Just throw the ball, we'll go to this one. So I think he'll be a good commodity in the auction. Someone will pick him.
Yeah, he'll probably go for a decent price because he's an all-rounder, Indian all-rounder at that. So next player is Kyle Mayers, the West Indian. What are your guys' thoughts on him?
I think it's a good release. He hasn't been in that great form recently. I think 1 or 2 games he has done good for LSG. Other than that, they went back to Quinton de Kock, who also has done similar. So it's a good release. Let's see. Maybe new home, new beginning.
Yeah, I mean, he can bowl you some medium pace and like bat at the top of the order and in the at number three or in the middle order as well. But I mean, as I stated before, he's not worth 18 crores. Like a lot of the players we mentioned before, he definitely go for within 5 6 crores in the auction because he's not really proved himself in a consistent manner. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, arguably even less than that. I mean, hasn't really shown anything in the IPL. So all right, this is a very interesting one. Marcus Stoinis, the Australian all-rounder. He had a really solid World Cup. He's a quality player who can muscle that ball into the crowd, as you can see with his big biceps. But anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on this release? It's an interesting one for
That
sure.
one was a surprise to me personally. I think he's a great all-rounder, and considering how he has been playing for LSG itself, I'm not talking about any other teams also. For LSG itself, he got a game from a losing situation in Chennai in favor of LSG.
Yep.
That game itself should have retained him for this year auction, but I think they didn't come to terms and conditions agreement. So even though the head coach is Australian too, I think he'll be going for a good price in the auction, maybe a search, hopefully.
Everyone does reach, hopefully. No, but I think this was one of the shock releases for me. I'd have definitely given a thought of retaining Marcus Stoinis over one of Mayank Yadav or Bishnoi, but I think they gave it a chance that they already retained one overseas player, Nicholas Pooran. They didn't want to use another retention slot on an overseas player, but I mean, man, that innings in Chennai, like Nanish mentioned, is one of the best innings in Chennai and probably one of the best innings by a foreign batter in the IPL to win a game out of nowhere single-handedly in a chase. Chasing over 210 at Chepauk is unbelievable. And not only that game, he played a lot of good other good games, contributed almost every game with the bat or the ball. In the T20 World Cup was one of the standout players, picked up wickets, bowled some good overs, scored runs with the bat. He did everything. So that was a shock release for me. I don't think it was a great release.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He's going to be a hot commodity at the auction for sure. All right. Next, Arshad Khan, the all-rounder. What are your guys' thoughts on him?
Ooh, this one also is a good. It's not a good release, considering how he showcased himself with the bat. Also, I think he's a great all-rounder. You can consider him as an all-rounder. I think I don't know who they could have put him over, considering how they took in like the two uncapped players. I don't know. They might go for him again, but I think he'll go for big bucks in the auction.
Yeah, I mean, I would have probably retained him over Ayush Badoni just because of the skill set he brings, the left arm fast bowler, uh, who can bat as well. We saw that wonderful knock last year. I think it was against Delhi Capitals, and like he showed that maturity to bat with the tail as well and hit some big sixes, or they weren't big, but like sixes regardless. But we saw the talent that one game, and he can also bowl up front with the new ball and at different phases of the game. So I feel like for 4 crores he would have been really worth it, but it was not to be. But I don't think it was a great release there either.
Yeah, he was very impressive last year. I was kind of shocked to see that they didn't use one of their retentions on him.
Maybe
All
they
right.
didn't want two left arm fast bowlers as
Mm.
retention. Maybe they wanted to go for more variety.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah. All right. Next one, Prerak Munkad. What are you guys' thoughts on him?
Good release.
Yeah, we haven't seen much from him, so yeah, good release.
Mhm. How about Yudhvir Singh? Anyone?
Yeah, he did get few opportunities here and there, but he was not consistent. So in that term, it's a good release.
Yeah, same answer here.
Mm. Fair enough. So, how about the next one? Arshan Kulkarni, player for India under 19 team, I'm pretty sure, recently. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Should they have let him go?
I think this one again is a good release, but yeah, he did play one game. I think with Rojo, he hasn't proven himself there, so they might try to go him back in the auction, and they might get him cheaply. But uh, considering retentions, is a good release.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him one game. I think last year he got a first ball duck in one game. I think he might have scored a single digit score in another game if he played. I don't remember exactly, but he's a young talent, but he definitely not go 4 crores in the auction for retention worthiness. He'd probably go base price or a bit more than base price if a couple of teams see him. So yeah, if they really want him back, they can get him back in the auction for less than four. So yeah, good release.
Mhm. How about David Willey?
Good release.
Uh, yeah, I mean, good release. He was at RCB a couple years back, didn't really contribute much with the bat or ball. I think he dropped a crucial catch one time when we needed it to win a game. Not too sure. I think it was in a playoff game. He dropped a catch. That's the contribution he had on the season. So yeah, he hasn't really done much in the IPL. So yeah, I don't know if he'll
Good
be
release. Good
sold in the
release.
auction either. I don't know if he'll be sold in the auction either. But yeah.
All right. How about Shivam Mavi?
Release. Yes, he has a lot of talent, but After KKR, he has never been able to prove himself. I think he'll go for a good less price in auction.
Yeah, I mean, he's been like hyped up a lot and he's shown some talent, but he's just not uh, got the opportunities or showed enough in those opportunities to say that I am the bowler, I am the number one bowler for my team, and I can play 14 games consistently without being dropped. So in that way, I think it's a good release. He'll probably go to another team for similar 5 to 6 crores and warm the benches unless they decide to give him a proper opportunity.
Yeah, I mean he's still relatively young. Some team should definitely give him a chance, I think. And another young player, but this time bustling pace for this guy, Shamar Joseph from the West Indies. What are you guys' thoughts on the release?
I think good released. They haven't seen much from him in the IPL. Yes, he's good in tests, but
Yeah.
in IPL we haven't seen much from him. So yeah, good place.
Yeah, I think good release. Yeah, we saw him in the test match against Australia get that amazing seven for, but he's not really shown much in the T20 format. And I think LSG gave him a couple of chances, didn't really impress in those either. If they want him back, they can buy him for cheap in the auction too. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, as you guys mentioned, he was excellent for West Indies in that historical series against Australia. But in the
Just saying,
T20
guys,
cricket,
he's Sean's favorite player on this list currently.
He is? Oh, he
I,
is?
I do
Over
like.
Pooran?
Hey, I do like myself some Nikki P, but I'm always rooting for Shamar Joseph. I love watching him play. All right, so the next one, Matt Henry. What are you guys' thoughts on him?
Good release.
Yeah, good release. He's good at wrecking India in important games, but other than that, in the IPL, he hasn't shown much. I don't like him because of what he's done to India in those crucial games. That 2019 semifinal just breaks my heart even thinking about it now. But yeah, in the IPL, he hasn't really carried it over. He's not that kind of guy you want to retain in a team. Just because he doesn't bring any X factor, any he's not the kind of overseas fast bowler that you pay the big bucks out for to retain. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, they sent him out a couple of times this past year, got smacked, sent him back to the dugout. So yeah,
I mean, no
pretty.
doubting the quality. He's a really good test bowler and ODI bowler, but he hasn't brought it to the T20 game as of yet, especially in the IPL. So yeah, no point in retaining him for like a huge price.
Hmm, fair enough. Yash Thakur. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah.
What a player. I think still good release. Because they have enough fun cap players. So considering all that, he does have good talent here and there. So
I don't know if it's just me or all the talkers are just like giving in nature because they just love giving runs so much. I mean, first Shardul, now Yash, they just love being so hospital to the opposition batters. But yeah, I mean, he picked up 1-5 for last year, but
Oh
didn't
yeah,
really didn't really do much
completely
apart
forgot
from
about
that. Just as I said, giving runs. But I think he could be potentially useful on another team. Uh, Actually, I don't know because LSG is one of the most bowling conducive surfaces, and if he got a smacking there,
maybe
I don't know how
maybe
he'd play
Chennai
at Chinnaswamy.
for
that.
Tushar Deshpande type level.
Oh, join Tushar Deshpande and Yash Thakur together?
Yes, sir.
No, what a
So,
union. I'll get behind that for sure.
No, but I mean, yeah, I guess he doesn't have that much bustling pace either. That's the issue. So I don't know. Maybe he'd be useful on. I don't know exactly where he'd be useful, but
he got
we'll
great
see. We'll
fielding
see.
though. I just want to say that. So
Did you see him? Did you notice that much of the fielding? Hey, I guess it makes
uh,
sense though. If the bowling didn't really make that much of an impact, if you wanted to notice a player, you had to see the fielding, right?
Yeah, they didn't want to send him to bowl. They just kept him in the field the whole time.
yeah,
Okay, so next one. What a legend. Amit Mishra.
Yeah.
If you guys remember his incredible wicket he took last year. It was against Rajasthan, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was
Uh,
Riyan Parag.
guys, I think it's a bad release. No, just kidding. I think it's a good list considering his age and stuff. I
Well,
think
you could have gotten for 4 crores.
no, I think I think he's done. Actually, I think it's time for him to go. I like how he still has the fighting spirit in him. He always wants to get in those conflicts. We've seen how he always supported Naveen Haq in that fight against Kohli.
I mean, yeah, he was being a, and now he's talking off the field about Virat Kohli, like how he's not a great person and how it was his fault and all that stuff. I mean, he's still good at doing that, I guess. But as far as
Putting all
playing,
the comedy out, guys, I think it's a great release from LSG. Considering his age and stuff, they could not have retained him with all the young talent or something.
I mean, if you retain him, you want him to play till like 45, 46 years old. I mean, the way the way we saw him last year, I mean, it's not even about the cricket. He didn't pick up a wicket, but I mean, can you even rely him to stay on the field without getting tired for 20 overs is the real question. Because
Hey,
I mean, the fitness is uninspiring to say the least. I mean, you don't want young players or young people watching the game to see him when trying to take up the sport because they might not care much about fitness in general. But I mean, yeah, as far as the release is concerned, I mean, you can't be
No
retaining.
doubt. We're not trying to make fun of him. He's a great bowler. We've seen one of the legends in the IPL stats. He has picked up many wickets. It's just that age has gotten to him.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, no
let's move on
doubting.
to the next player.
No, I mean, no doubting the quality. I mean, he's one of the top few wicket takers in the league, but I mean, I just can't stop laughing, man. Just the way the no, the way he like came out last year and then bowled that one over and just didn't play the rest of the season. It's I mean, yeah, you're not gonna retain him, but yeah, obviously he's been a legend for Delhi and stuff throughout the years. But I right now the age is just not on his side. So yeah.
mhm. That's a good place to end off for him there. Amit
Is that
Mishra,
the
remember the
most we
name?
talked about out of all the release players, Amit Mishra?
Somehow, yeah, sure. I think it might have been, but anyway,
The
that's a
most, the hardest
let's
release to make.
easily. All right, let's get his partner in crime, as we were just discussing, Naveen Haq. Uh, he's a quality player, actually. He played well at the World Cup. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Good release, bad release?
Uh, I think it is like if you're gonna retain Navin Hohag, you could have retained Marcus Stoinis over him. So in that case, it's a good release. But yeah, I mean, he could go for big money in IPL auction. But considering LSG's charges, I think it's a good release.
I mean, I didn't like him a couple years back when that Kohli conflict with him happened, because as y'all know, I'm a huge Kohli fan, so I didn't really like him. But the the way they patched up, and then the way he bowled at the T20 World Cup this last year, bowling those crucial spells against Bangladesh, was, I mean, really good. He has a really good slower ball. The ball he bowled to dismiss Travis Head in the Afghanistan
Oh,
Australia game was
that
an
was so
absolute
good.
peach of a delivery. I mean, if India had that in 2023, they would have won the World Cup. But I mean, that's a different issue. But I mean, the he's a talented bowler. He can bowl in the power play. He can bowl at the depth as well. So I think he'll go for a decent amount of the auction. But yeah, they couldn't retain him for 18 crores. That's too much. So yeah, good release.
Yeah, whoever gets him in this next auction, they're going to be happy with him for sure. And
Uh, just wanted to add here. The day we're recording this is November 19th, exactly 1 year ago, we lost to Australia.
Yeah, I mean, cut that. Let's not talk about that.
yeah, it's a sad day for Indian cricket, but brighter days are ahead. I can see it. I hope.
Oh,
Just wanted to bring that up. That's it. Good fact.
Uh, all right, and last one for luck now. Mandimar and Siddharth. What are you guys' thoughts on him?
I think it's a good release, but he is one of those players too. Like LSG has retained two uncapped players. I think he's he's like similar to them, but again, he has played good in NT and PO and stuff, but he could do better in other teams.
I mean, I think we saw him bowl in a couple games last year, I think, and he did dismiss Virat Kohli against RCB. I mean, if you dismiss Virat Kohli, you obviously become a big name pretty quickly. But the he did play decent. He showed that he can bowl in the power play as well. But I think considering they already retained two uncapped players, there's no point in trying to retain him. But yeah, I think it was a good release. But going back to like sum up the release as a whole, I do think LSG will actually use their RTM on Marcus Stoinis. So I don't know if we'll come back here and say it was like a bad release or something. I feel like he's the player they'd most likely use their RTM on. Forgot to mention when we came across him.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see what Lucknow does in the auction, but I'm certain they'd want to get Stoinis back. All
Yeah,
right.
I think prime RTM candidate. What do you think, Danish? Or do you have any other names they could RTM in mind?
No, I think they might use that RTM card on him, unless he does go over the budget of the first.
Yeah, I agree. If he does, they might use it on like a Kunal Pandya or something who won't go too much, I think.
Hmm. Okay. Let's move on to Punjab Kings now. We got a whole
This is
list
gonna
of
be a big
released
list,
players.
guys.
Yeah.
When we know
Uh,
Mrs. Preet isn't this every auction year, it's gonna be the same.
yeah, they just throw it all in the garbage and start again, and this time a Project Ponting style. So, Shikhar Dhawan obviously retired, IPL legend. Congrats to him. He's had an incredible career, but no need to talk about him unless you guys just want to say something about him.
Great player, sent the Punjab.
Yes, Gabbar, very selfless player, loves the team he plays for, and such a selfless human being, such a nice guy, and such a great cricketer. So yeah, hope he has a good
As a
second innings
SRH
soon.
fan, he's one of the reasons we made it to finals in 2018, including Kane Williamson. But yeah, just want to bring back some memories.
Hmm. And all right, let's talk about some of the players who will be playing in the IPL next year. Jitesh Sharma, the wicketkeeper, Indian capped player. What are you guys' thoughts on him?
Yes, he's a great player, but I'm not sure. I think there's a really good release by Punjab. I don't know if he'll go for 18 crores in auction. So considering that, I think it's a good release.
Yeah, exactly what Danish said. He's a really good player, but he won't go 18 crores in the auction. I think they'll definitely. He's one of the RTM candidates for them because he's shown that he can play really good in the middle order and also keep wickets if necessary. So yeah, good release, but someone to watch out for on the RTM. Like we
Next
do have
up,
four left.
that's right. Next up, Johnny Bairstow, uh, a pretty good
Johnny,
player in his
Johnny.
own right. Johnny. Do you think they're gonna try and get him back, or was it a good release? What are your guys' thoughts?
For me personally, I don't think it was a good release. I think Johnny is a different class of player. We've seen how good a player he is. I think first saw him in IPL against that RCB game, and when he was in SRH, he just destroyed them. Since then on, I've been a big fan of him. But yeah, he won a good game against KKR. I'm assuming we
Yeah,
talked about that game. I think he has proven himself that he still got the dog in him. Uh,
yeah.
so considering all of that, I don't. I think it's a good release. Sorry, bad release. I think they should have kept him. Sorry.
Johnny, yes, Papa, coming back. Ha ha ha. He's not coming back to Punjab Kings. I don't think he's going for that much in the auction either. Yes, he played a really good knock against KKR last year in that historic chase, but other than that, he didn't really do much. And yes, he's a good opening batter. He's explosive, but he hasn't really shown much in the last couple of years of the IPL. And I don't know if he's going to go for that much money in the auction. I don't think Punjab would be looking to RTM him either. So yeah, good release, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Mhm.
It's a
Let's
great
get
opinion.
a SRH reunion going. Bring back Johnny Bairstow to sit on the bench.
I would hope so, but too many international players. That's the problem.
And you have
Okay.
Abhishek ahead already. What will Bairstow do?
Exactly.
Eat mixture like the auctioneers or the people in the auction?
Yeah, let him enjoy. It's the vacation,
He's
Indian
a good
vacation.
player. I just want to add it. I think he's a good. He's going to be a good player for LSG. Since they don't have
Mm.
any opener over there, I think.
Bro, on those pitches, if they give turning pitches, though, he's gonna get cleaned up almost every game. I mean, I feel for him on LSG, like the fit would be fine because they don't have the openers, but the pitch might not suit him just because if it's like a turning pitch, I don't know if he's the best player of spin either. But I think somewhere like a Mumbai or an RCB would be so good for him just because the pitch comes on to the bat, or even an SRH for that matter with the pitch, but they already got openers. So think an MR and RCB would fit him best, but I don't want him coming to RCB personally. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll see where Johnny goes. But next up, we have Liam Livingston. What are you guys' thoughts? The English all-rounder, talented player for sure.
It's a big surprise to me. Really thought they would have retained him. He's looking like how he played last year too. He can pick up wickets with his bowling. He can get you those. He can single-handed win you those games. Uh, with bat when he was in prime. Now I think he has gone a little bit down, but he can still win you a game with the bat. Uh, but yeah, I think this one they could have kept it for rebuilding. Uh, but yeah, I think they should
I
retain it.
I mean, considering they retained no cap players and they would have had to pay 18 crores for Liam Livingston to retain him, in that regard, I see it's a good release because I don't see him going 18 crores in a mega auction where there's
Mm.
so many other quality players. But I mean, the skill set he brings is pretty unique. I mean, yeah, it is like very special because he can smack it at the lower order, and he can come up the order if needed as well to play substantial innings in a quick amount of time. And like he bowls off spin to left-handers and leg spin to right-handers, and he knows how to take the ball away from both sets of batters and make it difficult for them. So it's a pretty special commodity in that way, but I feel 18 crores is too much for him, and he's a definite right to match candidate though. I think if he goes in a certain price range of 10 to 12 crores, they're definitely using the RTM on him.
Yeah, he's had a couple great outings for England since the last IPL, so it'll be interesting to see who will scoop him up in this auction. And next, Harpreet Bhatia. What are you guys' thoughts? Is it
I
Good
haven't
Bhatia?
seen much
release.
of him in IPL or in general itself. So considering all that, also he's uncapped. They've got two uncapped. It's a good release.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about him either, so I just keep it short. Good release.
How about Riley Russo? Remember against RCB last
The
year, he did
bazooka.
the
Bazooka
bazooka.
celebration.
Yeah, but
But
then Virat got
yeah,
him. But or he got him
overall, it's a
back.
good
But
release. Overall, it's a good release in my opinion because yes, he's a great T20 batter, but he has never been a consistent batter for any team. Like he'll get you those 1-2 games, but other than that, he's a decent player. But I think it's a good release.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a good release. Riley Russo really hasn't done much in the IPL, and uh, yeah, I mean, good release. That's
next
right. You
up,
said the bazooka celebration. I mean, Kohli
yeah,
gave it back though.
yeah,
But
he
thing
had the
is,
last laugh.
yeah, Russo hasn't really won any games for them, I don't think. So not worth it.
Fair enough. Next up, Chris Wokes, the Englishman, pretty talented player, I'd say. But what are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think like you said, he's a talented player, but again, Punjab hasn't retained any other player, so he would have been retained for 18 crores, and I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good test bowler. He bowls really good line lengths in the
Yeah.
test format and can bat, but he's just not that T20 player you want to fit. And I don't think, yeah, they wouldn't have thought about him once when seeing if they wanted to retain anyone for 18 crores.
hmm Next up, Vishwanath Pratap Singh. What a name that is. Do you guys have any
Again,
thoughts on him, good or bad?
I think again, I haven't seen enough of him, so considering that, again, two uncapped players already there, so good release.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the name is longer than the amount I know about him. So, I mean, in that ways, I think it's a good release. If they want him back, they can buy him back for base price. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see where he goes. But next up, Ashutosh Sharma. We discussed him in the previous video if you haven't seen that already. Burst onto the scene last year. I'm sure Punjab is wanting to get him back. What are your guys' thoughts? Good or bad release?
I think this one, for me personally, is a bad release. They could have easily reunited that, like Rahul said in the last video, reunited that combo of Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma. Uh, I think he would have gone, but he's a better retention than Prab Simran Singh, in my opinion, like Rahul mentioned in last video. But I'm not sure if whose decision is it to release, either management or Ashutosh Sharma itself wanted to go out of the team. But I think they will really try to buy him back, considering they already have a good connection with him. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, this was a really bad release in my opinion. I think he was the other uncapped player that should have been retained along with Shashank Singh to form that finisher duo, because they could have had their potential number five, number six slots locked and then build around that. But I feel they went for Prabhsimran Singh. He gives the wicket keeper angle and can open the batting. But yeah, I feel that Ashutosh Sharma should have been retained instead. Considering that they can't even RTM him now, it's very risky that they have to just purely buy him back through bidding, and that might not be that feasible. He might go for 8 to 10 crores with the amount he showed in the IPL last year. So I feel it's not a great release, especially with what he did for Punjab Kings last year.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. Uh, I'm interested to see if Punjab will actually end up buying him back, but
They'll definitely
that's
go for him, I think. Yeah, with that
mhm,
purse, they'll go for him.
yeah, no doubt there. Next up, Tane Tyagarajan. Never heard of him, but if you guys any thoughts, good or bad release?
Again, same dialogue. Haven't seen much of him. They already have two Concacaf players. Good release.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard much about him either. I can do a bit of research about him later and then uh, let y'all know if there's anything special about him. But yeah, haven't really heard much about him. Good release.
All right, next up, Atharva Taide. What are your guys' thoughts on him?
Uh, he's shown glimpses, in my opinion, in IPL. But again, same thing. They already have two uncapped players. They won't be spending 18 crores on him. So good release.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can say this about all the uncapped players that they already have these two that they
Yeah,
retained already, so there's no point. But he's someone who did show glimpses, like as a left-hander at the top of the order, he can score runs. But I don't know if they were really impressed with the pace he was scoring it at. I mean, I remember he got retired out one game too when they were chasing about 250 odd against LSG one game. But he has shown glimpses at the top of the order, and I think he will get sold in the IPL auction, and there might be a couple bidders for him. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, good release.
Next up, Rishi Dhawan. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, he's a all-rounder, can bowl and also like bat a bit. And I think I don't know if he might be uncapped now because of the 5-year rule that came in. Because he did play for India, but he might be uncapped now by that rule. But as Anish has repeated, and I have said as well, with two already uncapped, you can't retain him again for a hefty amount, or retain him in general. So yeah, I don't know if he'll get sold in the auction. Maybe for his experience, someone will pick him up for base price. But yeah, good release.
exactly. Before he has, not sure what happened in 2 3 years. He has disappeared. Before that, he's a good player. But now, yes, it's good release. Not sure what happened.
Fair enough. Next player is formerly the most expensive auction buy, Sam Curran, the Englishman all-rounder. He disappointed for Punjab, I think, given the price. What are your guys' thoughts? Good release, bad release?
Actually, the price that he was picked for it was bad, but what do you call that? I think Punjab really likes him, considering how he has debuted his first game for Punjab, I think, and then he has gone to Chennai, and then he has come back to Punjab Kings. Uh, but Punjab, I think they might use that RTM on him because since he's young, and Punjab really loves Sam Curran for some reason.
Yeah, even though he's played for Punjab this long though, he's CSK's Kadekutti Singham. I mean, the Lion Cub for them. So I think he might find his way back there. But it's just people are really disappointed him or not about him because of purely because of how he didn't play for the price that he was picked at. And yeah, like Sean mentioned, the one of the highest price at one point before like Stark and Cummins got this much in the previous auction. But like he did play some impactful knocks for them with the bat, and he is a decent bowling option too. We saw how he was the man of the tournament in that victorious T20 World Cup for England. And I think that's why he got the 18.5 crores to begin with. But yeah, I don't think he's worth 18 crores for retention. But like Nanish said, they might exercise the RTM on him if he goes anywhere under 10 crores or 11 crores.
Yeah, they're definitely wanting to bring him back, just based on that. And next up, Sikandar Raza, Zimbabwe. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think if they haven't retained another international player, yeah, see, he's a great player. Considering how he has come into the light, I think I really respect him. But I don't think he's worth retention.
Yeah, not
They
worth retention, but yeah.
they bought
Sorry.
him back. They bought him for base price, I think. Base price are a little up, but I'm surprised no one went for him in the auction, considering how he has performed in that World Cup that happened before the auction. But yeah, he played a few knocks here and there. He won a few games for Punjab. That is a good release.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a fascinating player, and yes, he plays for Zimbabwe and he plays against some of the lower level teams in general, but he's won like crazy amount of man of the matches for Zimbabwe, and he's won them games so much with the bat and the ball. And like just the skill he brings is outstanding, and I really wish he gets a chance somewhere and a long run, especially in this mega like auction, someone can pick him up and actually give him a long run. But he did play some decent games at Punjab Kings, but couldn't really make that impact. So I think good release. No way he's going 18 crores in the auction. I'd be surprised if he goes past base price. But I really wish he gets a chance somewhere and can actually show what he's made of.
Yeah, I wish Zimbabwe made the T20 World Cup this past year. We could have seen him in action right here in the States and in West Indies, of course. All right, guys. Next player on the list, Shivam Singh. Good release, bad release.
I think it's a good release. Again, same dialogue from past few people we talked. Never seen him play or didn't get chances to play for Punjab. Already have two uncapped players.
Yeah,
Good release.
repeat the same dialogue. Yeah,
I
two
don't know
uncapped
if
players.
you, yeah, I don't know if the viewers saw this movie called Manadu. Player
Yeah,
comes, repeat, repeat, repeat. Yeah.
yeah. Player comes uncapped. Move on, repeat.
Hey, one more we're getting here. Prince Chowdhury. Same
Saying
thoughts?
that like
So
this.
Shubman Gill not the prince anymore?
Yeah,
I've been
this Chowdhury is. Yeah, then he'll be bought in the auction. Uh, Somebody will think he's Shubman Gill and they'll just take him on the team, I think.
I could see Punjab Kings doing that last
Doing that,
whenever
yeah.
they.
Yeah, we
They
saw the
did the same.
Shashank.
Shashank, yep. Now, yeah, same. Never seen him play. Uh, Again, to have two already uncapped players. Good release.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
repeat again.
Harpreet Brar. Excellent, not excellent, but pretty solid spinner for Punjab last year and the past couple of years. So what are your guys' thoughts?
See, personally, I don't think he like gets that much the credit that he deserves. Uh, like the type of player he is, he never gets the credit that he deserves, in my opinion. Uh, he should have been retained. But again, over Prabh in my opinion. But because he gives you that spin option and he can bat decent with that bat.
Mhm.
But again, he's an uncapped player. Only two uncapped players they have retained, and 18 crores is a bit too much for him. So yeah,
Yeah, this one is
good.
not the repeat dialogue that Nanesh mentioned. I feel they would have definitely given a lot more thought for Harpreet Bar over some of the other uncapped players we discussed, just because of the impact he made for them with the ball, the left arm spin angle, and he can also tonk some big sixes with the bat. We saw him play some really good cameos with the bat in over the past few seasons. I feel that over Prabh Simran Singh, he is also a candidate that could have been retained. I feel that Ashutosh Sharma should have been first, then Harpreet Brar, and then only potentially Prabh Singh in the pecking order. But they decided to go with Prabh Simran. But I think Brar is a quality player. He will fetch interest in the auction. So, I mean, given that they went with Prabh Singh and didn't even take Ashutosh either, I'd say it's a good release. But they'll definitely try to buy him back because of the impact he's had for the team.
Yeah, most certainly. As you said, he can really bat. I think that's a really
Yeah.
underrated aspect of his game. So
Yeah, he's a very
next,
underrated player. That's the thing.
yeah, couldn't agree more. And next up is Arshdeep Singh, uh, great bowler for India. He was excellent at the World Cup for them. Can absolutely move that ball, was swinging it all over the place. He was so fun to watch at the World Cup, and he's an incredible talent. What are you guys' thoughts on the release by Punjab?
Sorry, the first thing that comes to mind when I see him is in that India Sri Lanka game when they needed one run to win, he just tried to play a slog sweep and got out, and then was just smiling and walking in, walking out. But jokes apart, I mean, he's a quality bowler. We saw how well he did for India at the T20 World Cup, one of the highest wicket takers in the tournament. And for Punjab Kings, he's been so good as well. He swings the ball both ways in the power play. He's a very good death bowler as well. I know he's been getting hit in the death in the past few months for India and for Punjab, but he has this really good Yorker and he can bowl at the death for you as well. And I feel that he just needs to re-tap into that skill. And he bowled such an outstanding over in that World Cup finals as well, T20 World Cup
Hmm.
finals against South Africa. I
Yeah.
think he bowled a penultimate over, didn't give up much runs either. So he's a really good talent, but if there was anyone they were thinking about splurging the 18 crores on, it was this guy, Arshdeep Singh. But I just feel 18 crores is a bit too much for him, and I'd rather have that extra purse than have Arshdeep Singh take up 18 crores in my side right now. He's definitely going to be RTM for Punjab, even if he goes over 18 crores, I think. But I see the chances of him going over 18 crores is less than him going under 18 crores. So in that way, they made a calculated decision to release him and buy him back through the RTM in the auction. But I think no matter the price, they're definitely going to get him back because he is the one of the symbols of the franchise, and he knows the team, and they really like him a lot too.
Yeah, Rahul covered all the bases. I think he's one of the players that Punjab will look to RTM again. Looks like we'll know that pretty soon in the auction because he's in that Marquis at one.
Mhm.
Just looking at the list, he's in the Marquis at one, so we'll know if he's going back to Punjab within first 30 minutes of the auction. But again, great release considering they want to rebuild. But he's young, they might get him back. Yeah.
Yeah, Punjab will have the most purse in that beginning, so they can literally splurge on whoever they want.
110 crores. It's going to be really exciting to see how they build that team. Project Ponting, as I've said it countless times so already, but all right. Next up, Kahiso Rabada, excellent player for South Africa. Uh, was not amazing in the last iteration of the IPL, but we all know his quality. So, what are you guys' thoughts on if
And
this is a
just
good
want
or
to
bad
say
release?
Just want to say, sorry. I think for me personally, I think they should have picked him. Yes, he's been little inconsistent, but I think he can always come back. We've seen how good a player he is in the World Cup and was like when he was playing for South Africa. But again, they might use that RTM card on him. I don't think he'll go 18 crores, but the 10 crores, 10 12 crores, I see him going. But again, we'll know that pretty soon in the auction. He's also in that Marquee set one.
I mean, I really like Rabada as like a cricketer. I mean, his attitude is fascinating. He's very aggressive bowler, comes at you, and he bowls at good pace. He's not, I don't think he's really a new ball bowler as per se. He's more of a middle over bowler and a depth enforcer. I think he does bowl with the new ball too, but uh, I feel that he's not worth 18 crores. He'd definitely go less in the auction. But like Nanish said, he's a definite RTM candidate because I mean, he just was such a special bowler when he came out early in his career. He has tapered off a bit in terms of leaking runs. He's been pretty expensive in T20 cricket, but no doubting the quality. I mean, he can win you a game at any point in the season. Like he's that kind of player who can just make an impact, like immediately and just pick two, three wickets like in a row pretty quickly. So in that regard, he has that X factor in him, but I don't think he would have gone 18 crores, so good release. But they look to buy him back with the RTM.
I know Rahul wants uh to get him on RCB.
Yeah, the
It's
Kohli
one,
Rabada combo.
yeah, it's
Aggression to the max.
yeah, full aggression. On the wish list for sure. Uh, Next up, Nathan Ellis, the Aussie bowler. What are you guys' thoughts? Good or
Aussie
bad?
speedster. Yes, he has played very good games, pretty good games for Punjab, and he has shown good talent at BBL. I think that's where he earned his name. But again, I don't know if he's worth 18 crores. Yes, the head coach is Aussie. He's a Aussie. Both are Aussie, but the connection has not developed, I think. So they might get him back. We'll see.
Yeah, the coach and the player from Oz, but the way the player played was like more like boost. It just went flat like a flat puri after 10 minutes. But as I don't know why they started him over Rabada last year, to be honest. I like Rabada's much more quality player in my opinion, but I mean he did show his class in a couple games with picking up wickets, and he can bowl at the depth. He has a good back of the hand slower ball as well. Can bowl a good Yorker too, but yeah, not worth 18 crores. Didn't really do much for the Kings either. Didn't make much of an impact. If they really want, they can buy him back. He won't go that much money because there's a lot more quality fast bowlers out there in the market than him.
Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, let's go on to Rahul Chahar, a relatively young player, and he's a quality spinner, to be honest. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Good release, bad release?
I personally think it's a bad release since there is a demand for leg spinners in India. And like I said, the same about how good it was good for LSG to retain Ravi Bishnoi. Same here. There's not that much talent of leg spinners in India, so I think same logic I'm applying here. I think they should have retained him, but yes, there are few good options in the auction. But if you have a good player, I think you should have kept him. But again, 18 crores again is a big topic here because they haven't retained anyone, and all the players we're talking about are basically the first retention because we say we want to
Yeah.
retain them. They have retained them for 18 crores, and I don't think he's 18 crores worth. But again, yeah,
See, the equation here is the amount of talented players Punjab had to retain at the 18 crore slot is less than the amount of talented leg spinners that are there going into the auction,
yeah,
and the amount of talented players going into the auction. So, I mean, if you're the only player worth 18 crores on that side, in my opinion, is Arshdeep Singh. And considering you didn't even give him the 18 crore slot, which I think is a good decision, you're not giving 18 crores on Rahul Chahar, no matter how quality a spinner he is. Because he didn't really do that great last year either. I mean, he wasn't even featured regularly in the side as well because he was leaking runs in some games. And yes, he would go for a decent amount of the auction because of the commodity he brings, but if they really want, they can RTM him. I don't know if he's at the top of their priorities in terms of RTM, just because he's tapered off at Punjab Kings. But if he goes for a cheap price from anywhere less than 5, 6 crores, I think it's a steal to RTM him.
Hmm, that's fair. All right. And the next one is Vidwat Kavarappa. What are you guys' thoughts? Good or
Yapa.
bad?
I think they have given him one chance. That too against. He did good. He took the wicket of Kohli that game.
Or
Um.
he
Uh.
would have, but he got Kohli
Yeah.
got dropped off of
I
his
mean,
ball.
they dropped so many catches that game. So,
Yeah, bro, they dropped
uh.
catches.
But yeah, I think they were just trying to hide him. I'm not sure what they're doing. They never came in chances after that. But maybe they want him back again. Good release. He would have been below Prabhsimran Singh if they have retained him. Like in the order of what I said, he would have been below Prabhsimran Singh for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was a good talent. He's a good talent. We saw him in that one game against RCB where he got 3 wickets, I think, and he had like a lot of drop chances off of him. But I don't know, the Punjab Kings always managed to do one thing that no other team would even think about doing, like a comedy move in terms of benching him after taking 3 wickets in a game, which I don't get why, but maybe they're trying to hide him, but I don't know what you're trying to hide. Like all scouts are active. They're looking through games in different circuits. They're looking at how a player bowls. So I don't know how you can really quote unquote hide a player when there are scouts in other teams as well. Especially considering your Punjab Kings who hasn't won a title. If you found a way to pick him, then definitely other teams who have won titles can find a way to pick him. So I don't understand that. But yeah, I mean, he showed some talent, but yeah, it's like Nani said, he's below Prabhsimran Singh in the pecking order of uncapped players. So yeah, good release. If they want to buy him back and that's why they hit him, well, they have a chance to do it now. But the hiding wouldn't work because other teams know how he plays.
Yeah, and he's performed at a pretty high level, picking up over 20 wickets in domestic T20 cricket. So, next one, Harshal Patel, Purple Cap Patel, whatever you want to call
Purple
him,
Patel. Purple
Purple
Patel.
Patel.
No,
Purple.
yeah, I think it's a good release from Punjab Kings. Uh, yes, he has, even though his economy rate is pretty high, he has done decently picking up wickets in regular intervals. But again, I think they can get him for a lesser price. I feel like they can get some better price. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has such a good dipping Yorker. It starts off like a slower ball. It looks like a full
Lots of
toss, but then just
area.
yeah, and then just dips on the batter. Even the batter doesn't know what struck them sometimes. I remember that ball too, Tala, that one game. He just came out, Dhoni came out, everyone was cheering, and then he just turned all the cheers off in 1 second with the dipping Yorker, his speciality. But I mean, that season he had for RCB in his sort of comeback, you can say, taking 32 wickets, tying the league record for the most wickets in a season was fascinating. And the way he bowled at the death was outstanding. I mean, no one could pick his slower balls, and he was just picking wickets left, right, and center. He was expensive a bit, but he was such an X factor in that season for RCB. And then after that, the people just started picking him more, and he started giving up more runs. And but he was the purple cap holder last year too for Punjab Kings. The only thing was he had a pretty high economy. But given that he was bowling the really tough overs, I feel he did do his job for the team after a rough start to the season. He came back really strong. But he's not worth 18 crores in my opinion. He'll definitely go much less in the auction. So if they really want, they can buy him back. But I don't know if they'd be really willing to use an RTM on him though, considering there's other players we mentioned who are more likely to fit the bill.
Hmm. Fair enough. I'm interested to see where he goes.
He'd
Chennai
be great
maybe.
in Lucknow or Chennai, yeah, the slower
Mm,
pitches.
yeah, that'll be really fascinating. But overall, thoughts on the released players, guys? Grades, anything you want to say? Mhm.
I'll give them a C minus.
C
C
minus.
minus?
Why?
I don't think they have done good in rebuilding. Like we said,
Boss, they
they
only
should
have to
have.
rebuild now. There's
No, no,
let
no. I
everyone put
understand
in.
that, but like, I think they should have kept Arshdeep in my opinion.
Hmm, that's a fair point.
That and Rahul Chahar also, I feel like they should have kept. But again, sorry, let's change your ratings. Uh, let's change it to B. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Satisfied.
Passing.
If you think a bit more, maybe you'll get it to an A minus.
Maybe.
Rahul, what about you?
It's like my grades in school just slowly improve. But that's apart from the point. I mean, I'd say they did a really good job releasing all these players. Uh, First of all, I think there's a good thing they didn't try and really retain Sam Kerr and Liam Livingston and all those guys and just block up your full purse where you can't really rebuild a squad. So I think this is the best decision that could have been taken, just retaining two uncapped players, letting everyone else go and potentially RTMing them at cheaper prices and buying some really quality players because I think the amount of talent in the auction this year is probably the most there's ever been in an auction, considering the high quality Indian players who are coming as well as overseas players. Like you have the likes of Shami, Pant, KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, Siraj, Arshdeep. Like this kind of quality you usually don't get at an auction. So considering there's this many players, the fact they have that big a budget, like 30 crores above RCB, which is next in line, literally gives them a free option to pick any player they want. or 2 or 3 players itself. So in that way, I think they did a great job in releasing most of these players.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the big stories of the auction. Given all the talent, can Ricky Ponting construct a talented squad that can finally win some, maybe win a title for Punjab, win some games for Punjab?
Nah, sixth
Winning
Maybe,
place is
the
lowing
maybe,
again.
maybe take them to playoff first.
yeah,
Yeah, they've only
playoffs.
made two in the last 17 seasons. So let's put aside the title aspirations and just try and go step by step. Playoff with Project Ponting, PPP.
There you go, PPP. And speaking of auction strategy, we're going to put our Ricky Ponting hats on in the next episode, where we discuss auction strategy for both Punjab as well as Lucknow. So stay
Yep,
tuned for that one, and
we'll
we'll
be
see you guys next time.
yeah, we'll be Ponting pointing at the players we want.
That may as well happen. All right, see you guys.
Bye.